Good morning. Let's start on our mats today. Let's start seated and then I'll get you squared away. So come to seated on the mat. And we're going to start in that 90-90 shape. So the right shin goes forward toward the top of the mat and the left leg comes out to the side. So we want to line up this right knee with the right hip and the left knee with the left hip. So once you see that that's happening, then you can start to adjust the feet. That front foot is flexed, the right foot, so is the left foot. And then maybe you move that heel out so it's underneath the knee. And if this is really difficult, you could bring the feet in closer until you can feel like you're getting a hip stretch and still stay up pretty upright. If it's okay to separate the feet a little bit more, go for that. This right hand is kind of your stability. So you can lean pretty far over to the right and then start to work your way back up to sitting upright. And this left hip, it's lifted away from the mat. You're just trying to square everything forward, but you are aiming to get that left hip down. It may never touch, but see if you can start to let that release happen so you get into the hip opening. And this is opening up the hips in two different directions. So just keep sitting upright. Know that you could be leaning way over to the right if you're feeling it there. Come to the breath, close the eyes. In and out through the nose, up and down the back of the throat. And blink open the eyes. We'll start to switch going in the opposite direction. So you'll just bring this left hand out to the side, bring the knees up toward the sky, and then all the way over the other direction. So now you're facing the back of the mat. Get the left knee right in front of the left hip, right knee right outside of the right hip. Maybe the feet come in closer, or maybe you start to work them away from you so that the heels are in line with the feet are in line with the knees. Once you have that, fingertips come down to the ground, and maybe you start with the left hand out to the side and you're leaning over to the left, aiming to get this right hip down toward the mat. You can start to walk the torso upright wherever you can sustain the pose and still stay with your breath. So find where you are, close the eyes, come back to the breath, send the breath to the hips. This is a pretty deep release. And really effective since we're opening up the hips in two different directions. And this is our second side. Maybe you sit up a little bit taller. Slowing things down a bit. Getting our minds where they need to be for our practice today. And releasing whatever we have going on in the hips. Blink open the eyes. Right hand comes back behind you. Turn to face the side of the mat with the knees pointing up. You can scoot yourself back so you're still on the mat. Walk the feet out. Keep the soles of the feet on the mat. Start with the hands back behind you so you can sit up nice and tall. And maybe you stay here. If you can sit up tall and you can bring the hands down in front of you, you're welcome to do that. But that's definitely different than having the hands back behind you. So see what kind of effort you're looking for. Always check the breath. If you can't keep that Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose smoothly, then you've gone too far. If you have the hands in front of you, bring them back behind you, sit up nice and tall, and bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. So switching to Badakanasana. Hands can come to the ankles, and you sit up nice and tall. Soles of the feet all the way together. If you want to go deeper, you could grab the inner edges of the feet, open up the feet so the soles of the feet point up, and maybe you start to lean forward. But try to take the rounding out of the upper back. If you take the option of leaning forward, we kind of just want to cave in and curl in. See if you can keep reaching forward with the navel all the way up through the sternum and gazing forward. Elbows can come out to the side. Just nice long spine wherever you are. One last breath here. Come back up to seated. Use the hands to bring the knees back together. Let's come to tabletop, all fours. And once you come to tabletop, we're going to do something a little bit different. So the right arm's going to reach up toward the sky. You'll thread it through, but you're not going to land. We're just going to do that a few times. So you're going to reach underneath, and then you're going to reach that right arm all the way back up on the inhale. On the exhale, reach through, stretch that shoulder, and then inhale, reach that right arm all the way back up. Bring the arm all the way through underneath you. Find that reach. On the inhale, open it back up. This time we're landing. Reach that right arm underneath you. Set the head down onto the mat, the shoulder, let the arm rest. Left hand can stay in front of the face, or you can start to stretch that left arm forward over the top of the mat, making an L shape with the arms. If this feels pretty good, stay here. If you want a little bit more, left arm reaches up toward the sky, turn that left palm to face behind you, wrap the left arm behind the back, opening up the left side chest and shoulder. So don't be too focused or concerned with where the left hand lands. Think about the left shoulder and the chest first, and then make sure the hand's there to support it. Sometimes we can get hung up on what we can grab with that left hand, and that's not really what this is about. Left arm reaches up to the sky if you took the half bind. Left hand in front of the face, all of us. Press into the left hand, reach that right arm all the way back up, and set the right hand down to the mat. So same thing, other side. Left arm reaches up on the inhale. Exhale, reach underneath you. Inhale back up, few more times. Exhale, thread that left arm underneath. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, thread that left arm through. This time, inhale, reach the left arm up. You're coming down for your landing. Reach the left arm through underneath you. Start to set the head down. Set the arm down, the shoulder down. Right hand in front of the face, or start to crawl that right arm forward over the top of the mat. And see if you can stay even in the hips, hug the belly in a little bit. Right hand can stay where it is, or maybe you reach that right arm up, turn the right palm to face behind you, and wrap the right arm behind the back. Same thing here. Find that nice therapeutic opening on the right shoulder, right chest. Could be in a different spot this side. Right arm reaches back up, right hand down on the mat in front of the face. Press into the right hand, reach the left arm all the way up. Left hand comes back down to the mat. Few cat cows, warming up the spine. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, round. Keep going at your own pace. Follow your breath. You know you have lots of options here. So if there's anything different you want to do, maybe the hand position changes, maybe you change the movement. Close the eyes, go inside, see what you need. Next time you round the spine, stay there. Come back to your neutral spine. Walk the hands forward ahead of the shoulders. Toes are tucked. Lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. So first downward facing dog here. Spend some time. Let the head be below the heart. You're in an inversion. Maybe pedal out the feet. Then lift the heels up high, get them over the balls of the feet. And then see if you can lift the hips up a little bit more with the heels high. And you're pushing into the arms and the hands at the same time. Then on your next exhale, slowly let the heels come back down toward the mat. Inhale, lift the heels up high, keep pushing the hips up and back. And exhale, slowly let the heels come back down toward the mat. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, heels down. Right foot steps forward, up between the hands, coming into a runner's lunge. Straighten the front leg, stay high on the ball of the back foot. Inhale forward to a lunge. This time we're taking standing splits. It doesn't have to be the deepest one. Just start to shift the weight forward to the right foot, move the hands underneath the shoulders, level off the hips, keep them square. Step back to your lunge. Set that back knee down, reach the arms up. Hands come down to the mat, step straight back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, runner's lunge. Straighten the front leg, fold over the front leg. And if it's pretty intense in the back of the left leg, walk the hands back so they're more underneath the shoulders. If you're not feeling anything, walk the hands forward. Inhale forward to your lunge. Standing splits. Big step. Shift the weight to the left foot, reach the right leg up. Don't worry about the biggest standing splits. Take it easy. Let the head and the neck go. Step back to your runner's lunge. Set that back knee down, reach the arms up. Hands come down to the mat, step straight back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, glide forward to plank pose. Exhale back, downward facing dog. 2 more of those. Inhale, forward plank. Take your time getting into plank. Feel all the muscles work to get you there. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward to plank pose. Bring the knees down to the mat. Hug those elbows in as you bend the elbows like chaturanga, eventually getting the chest and the chin down to the mat. So hips are high, hug the belly in. Glide forward onto your stomach, tops of the feet down. Inhale, cobra. Doesn't have to be real big. Exhale, release. 2 more of those. Inhale up, cobra. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhaling up, Bhujangasana. Hands are light. Chest is open. Exhale, release. Hands and knees, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, keep the legs straight, start to tiptoe the feet forward. So you'll have to hug the belly in like you're trying to lift the hips up toward the sky as you slowly tiptoe the feet forward. And at a certain point, once the feet get close to the hands, you might need to lift the hands up, coming up onto the fingertips until you can get all the way forward to your forward fold. And let the head and the neck go. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. 2 more. Inhale up halfway. Nice strong legs. Exhale, fold. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. This time, inhale, circle the arms all the way up. Bring the palms together at the very top. And on the exhale, cactus the arms, open up across the chest, bring the elbows down by the waist as you lift the heart up toward the sky. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, palms together. Exhale, forward fold, all the way back down. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank pose, straight to downward facing dog. Stay in downward facing dog or take a vinyasa. Inhale forward to plank, maybe knees, chest, chin. Maybe you just come down straight to chaturanga. Maybe you're ready for up dog. Cobra and up dog are great choices. Skip them if they're not working for you. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward, step the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, bring the palms together, and on the exhale, cactus the arms, open up across the chest. Inhale, reach the palms all the way up, hands come together, exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose, downward facing dog. Stay here or take a vinyasa. Glide forward to your plank, chaturanga, back bend, down dog. Bend the knees, look forward, feet forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands come together at the very top. And exhale, cactus the arms. Find that opening. Inhale, back up, hands together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhale, hands down, back to plank pose, downward facing dog. So making you think if you want these vinyasas or not. Maybe you want one. Glide forward to plank, lower down halfway, cobra or up dog, back to downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, up between the hands, back to that runner's lunge. Get long. Reach the heart forward, send that left heel back. Then straighten the front leg, fold over the front leg. Maybe the hands go forward a little bit more here. Inhale forward to your lunge, standing splits. Big step forward, stretch that left leg up. Keep the hips square so that left hip isn't opening up to the left. And feel a nice opening in the backside of the right leg here. Step back to your lunge. Set the back knee down, reach the arms up. Hands come down to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward to the top of the mat. Inhale the heart forward, find that runner's lunge, feet hip width distance apart. And then straighten the front leg, fold over the front leg. Let the head and the neck go. Maybe the hands crawl forward a little bit more. Inhale back to your lunge, bend that front leg, standing splits. Shift the weight forward, reach the right leg up. Step back to your lunge, set that back knee down, reaching the arms up. Hands come down to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. Stay here, vinyasa, modified vinyasa, you choose. Start to bend the knees, look forward to the top of the mat, step, hop, bring the feet forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, bend the knees, reaching the arms up. Come all the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Hug the left knee in toward the chest. So shift the weight over to the right foot, right leg, hug the left knee in toward the chest, and then level off those sit bones. So right when we bring the left knee in, that left hip wants to go way up. See if you can keep it level with the right sit bone. Now extend that left leg forward, interlace the fingers underneath the left thigh, and then press out through both heels. Stand as tall as you can. Keep the chest nice and wide, nice and open. Gaze is straight forward on your personal horizon, something that's not going to move. See if you can keep this left leg right where it is. Release the arms and reach them all the way up. And then set the left foot down next to the right foot. Bend the knees, sit back, chair pose. Keep reaching the chest forward. Come all the way back up to standing. Bring the right knee into the chest, standing tall on the left leg. And then notice what's going on with that right sit bone. Does it need to lower to be level with the left? Chest is open. Legs are strong. Interlace the fingers underneath the right leg as you stretch that right leg forward. Press out through both heels. Left thigh, that standing leg, it's pressing back, so it keeps you strong and tall. Keep the right leg where it is. Reach the arms up. Right foot next to the left foot. Bend the knees, sit back, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Step the left foot back. Start with the runner's lunge. Then spin that left heel down flat. Warrior two. Windmill the arms up. Open the chest to the side. Keep that gaze going forward over the right hand. Right hand, either forearm to thigh for side angle, but you're pretty open. We've done a lot of hip and shoulder work already. Maybe the right hand comes down inside of the right foot. You could even use a block at whatever height seems appropriate, opening up the chest. Don't lose the bend in the front leg. Keep pressing down through the outer edge of the back foot. Hug the belly in. Left hand turns to face behind you. Wrap the left arm behind the back. Press down into the feet and the legs. Float that right arm forward, palm facing up. Take it to reverse warrior. Then straighten the front leg. Keeping the left arm behind the back, you're in a half bound reverse triangle. Come up to standing, arms out wide. Let's take triangle. Shift the hips back, reach that right arm forward. Right hand comes down lightly on the shin or a block outside the calf. Legs are nice and strong, arms spread out wide. Left hand comes down to the mat, come onto the ball of the back foot, bend that front leg, step the left foot forward, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, step the right foot back, find that runner's lunge, spin the right heel down flat, and come up to warrior two. Side angle pose, forearm to thigh, or maybe you see if hand inside the foot's available, maybe on a block. You're just reaching the right arm straight up, opening up the chest. Keeping a lunge in the front leg and that left hip behind the left knee, so it's not swinging out to the left. Right palm turns to face behind you. Wrap the right arm behind the back. Get that left side of the torso really long. Reach it forward. Then start to float that left arm forward, palm facing up, taking it to reverse warrior. Not here for long. Keep that lunge in the front leg. Then straighten the front leg. Everything else stays the same. Half bound, reverse Trikonasana. Arms come out wide. Reach forward, hip shift back, triangle pose. Left arm down, right arm up. And the tiniest micro bend in that left knee, especially if you can lock it. Right hand comes down to the mat, come onto the ball of the back foot, bend that front leg, step the right foot forward, forward fold. Feel a broadening of the backs of the thighs as you lift the hips up. Weight heavier in the balls of the feet, head and neck are loose. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank pose, downward facing dog. If you want the vinyasa, glide forward to plank and take it. Few breaths in downward facing dog. Right foot steps up between the hands, runner's lunge. Straighten the front leg, fold over the front leg. So we've done a lot of work in the backside of the right leg. It might feel good to lift the toes up on the right foot. So you're coming up onto this heel. You'll know right away. The leg will talk to you and tell you this is a real bad idea. If that's happening, right foot comes back down. And if you feel like you need a little bit more, then you can start to walk the hands forward instead. So see where you're at with this stretch at this point in your practice. Set that right foot down if it's lifted. Inhale forward to a lunge. Standing splits. Shift the weight forward. Lift that left leg up. You're lifting a left leg from the inner left thigh. That'll also help you from opening up that left hip out to the left. We want to keep it square. Step that left foot back to your lunge. Set the back knee down. Reach the arms up. Hands come back down to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward up between the hands. Find that runner's lunge. Then straighten the front leg, fold over the front leg. Maybe you play with lifting the toes on the left foot or walking the hands forward or both. Left foot down, back to your lunge on the inhale. Standing splits. Shift forward, reach that right leg up. Feeling the difference between this one and the first standing splits we did at the beginning of our practice. Take it back to a lunge, step that right foot back, set the right knee down, reach the arms up. Hands come back down to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. optional vinyasa, or hold down dog for 5 breaths. Bend the knees, look forward, bring the feet forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. All the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Left knee comes in toward the chest, stand tall. Right hand to right hip. Grab that big toe with the peace fingers and the thumb. And then notice what happened to the left hip. Did it have to hike up? Or get that left sit bone in line with the right sit bone. Spin that right inner thigh back behind you so you're still standing tall. Extend the left leg forward. It doesn't have to be super straight. You can totally have a bend in it. Just keep the chest up and the gaze straight forward. Maybe the right arm reaches up. Turn those left toes out to the left a little bit. Open it up. Left leg comes out to the side, right arm comes out to the side. Keep those hips level, focus on the sit bones, lift the chest, stand tall on the right leg. Back to center, left leg forward, right arm up. Reach the left arm up, keep the leg where it is, step the left foot next to the right foot. Sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Back to chair pose on the inhale. All the way up to standing on the exhale. Hands together, down in front of the heart. So take a moment in Tadasana, bring the arms down by the sides, feel that chest open, shoulders down the back, legs really strong. Find that drishti, that focal point straight in front of you. Shift the weight over to the left foot, bring the right knee in toward the chest. Where are the sit bones? Are they right next to one another? Left hand, left hip. Keep that focal point. Grab the big toe with the peace fingers and the thumb. Straighten the right leg as much as possible on this side, where you can tinker with the pose. That means you can breathe. Left arm can reach up. Right toes turn out. That's a rotation in the hip. Open it up. Right leg comes out to the side. Left arm comes out to the side. Focus on those sit bones being right next to one another. One's not higher than the other. Stand tall, left thigh back. Back to center, right leg forward, left arm up. Keep the right leg where it is. Reach that right arm up. Start to step the right foot next to the left foot. Chair pose. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back to a lunge. Spin that left heel down flat. Warrior two. Side angle pose. Hand inside the foot, forearm to thigh, maybe a block. Left arm reaches up. Maybe a half bind. Turn that left arm to face behind you. Wrap the left arm behind the back. Maybe a full bind. So if you can keep that left side of the chest open, reach underneath the right thigh and connect the hands, go for it. If it's not happening today, take the half bind. Keep the lunge in the front leg. Right hand comes down if you have the full bind. Left arm reaches up. Take this to reverse warrior. Just a transition. Hang in there with that front leg. Then straighten the front leg. Keep reaching up and back. Reverse triangle. Arms come out wide to the side. Stand up tall. Triangle pose. Shift the hips back. Reach that right arm forward. Right arm down. Left arm up. Left hand down to the mat, come onto the ball of the back foot. Step that left foot forward next to the right foot. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, right foot steps back like you're in a lunge. Spin that right heel down flat. Warrior two, other side. Side angle pose, left arm, left thigh, or hand inside the foot. Right arm reaches straight up. Then turn that right palm to face behind you. Wrap the right arm behind the back. Maybe play with the full bind here. If you have the full bind, bring that left hand down. Right arm reaches back up, side angle pose. Take this to reverse warrior. Use that strength to get you up and back, keeping it nice and slow, controlled, straight in the front leg. Keep reaching up and back. Back up to standing, arms wide. Take it to triangle pose. Shift forward with the hips back. Reach that left arm down, right arm up. Right hand comes down to the mat, come onto the ball of the back foot, bend that front leg, step the right foot forward, forward fold, nice long legs. Grab the big toes with the peace fingers and the thumb, come up halfway, and on the fold, bring the elbows out wide. Head comes in toward the legs. Feel that broadening across the backs of the thighs as you lift the hips up. Hug the belly in to fold forward a little bit more. And using the grip of the toes to find that leverage for that fold. Then release the grip of the toes. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands down, step back to downward facing dog. Stay in downward facing dog or take a vinyasa. From downward facing dog, right foot steps forward, runner's lunge. Straighten the front leg, fold over the front leg. Maybe come up onto that front heel. Set that foot back down. Inhale forward to a lunge, standing splits. Shift the weight forward, lift that left leg up, fold over the right leg. Step that left foot way back, runner's lunge. Set the back knee down, reach the arms up. Bring the hands together, down in front of the heart. Hook the elbow outside of the right thigh, coming into a twist. So you want length in the spine. Careful not to fold forward too much. Back toes are tucked. You can leave the back knee down, or you can start to lift the back knee up, increasing the intensity. So you choose what you need right now. Hands can stay together like prayer, or you can open up the arms wide. Your shoulders are more open today, so that could be a fun thing to explore. Hands come back together if you chose that option. Back down to the mat, step straight back, downward facing dog, other side. Left foot steps forward, runner's lunge. Straighten the front leg, fold over the front leg. That modified pyramid pose. Maybe you lift the toes on the left foot. Set that left foot back down. Inhale forward to a lunge, then take it to standing splits. Right foot steps way back, runner's lunge. Set that back knee down, reach the arms up. Hands come together, down in front of the heart, open the chest to the left, hook that elbow outside of the thigh. Find your length first in the spine. It's almost like you're leaning back to get longer. Stay here, or maybe you lift that back knee. Keep the hands together, or maybe you open up the arms wide. Keep that breath. Those are really nice. Hands come back together. If you open them, back down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Do you want a vinyasa? Take it if you do. Stay in down dog if you don't. Right leg lifts up and back, three-legged down dog. Step that right foot forward, coming into a runner's lunge, and then set the back knee down. Untuck the toes. If you have blocks, 2 of them, that would be nice. If you have 1, that's fine too. And you definitely don't need blocks, but just shift them if you have them back toward the hips. And then take half splits. So you're lifting the toes on the front foot, push that heel forward till the hips feel level. Reach the heart forward. So you can stay right here in half splits. If you want to play with the fuller version of splits, your legs are pretty open. Blocks are really nice to do that, especially if you can't go all the way down. You just bring them underneath the hands, tuck the back toes, start to shift that back leg back first. The front leg can always go forward more. So you just keep wiggling the toes far back. Hands on the blocks, stay underneath the shoulders. And then once you get where you need to go, find a little scissoring action of the inner thighs so the hips are right next to one another. Chest is open. If you only have 1 block, slide that block underneath the right thigh, or even if you have 2, if you put that block underneath the right thigh, if there's space, that gives you leverage to bring the arms up, which gives you a lot more space and freedom in the pose. Good. Squaring the hips forward, that left hip's not opening to the side. Breathe wherever you are. Slowly start to bring the hands down if they're up. Remove the block out from underneath the right thigh if you have one there. And you'll start to make your way back to half splits. So that right leg comes back in with that left knee down. And then come back to your lunge, set that right foot down, blocks are off to the side, tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, back to downward facing dog. Adjust yourself on your mat if you're totally off of it. Left leg reaches up and back. Step that left foot through for your runner's lunge. Set the back knee down. Start with half splits wherever you're going. Shift the hips back. Send that left heel forward. Reach the heart forward. Grab your blocks if you found them useful on the first side to explore a fuller version of splits. So tuck those back toes. Start to send that right leg way back. Focus on that more than anything else. If you got some space, walk the blocks or the hands underneath the shoulders. And then when you can't send that right leg back anymore, then untuck the toes, point the toes way back. Keep sending that left leg forward, lift and spread the chest. If there's enough space, maybe you place the block underneath the thigh, the left thigh, and reach the arms up. Good. Hands come back down to the mat or the blocks. Start to make your way back to half split. So slide that left heel in towards you. Set the left heel down or set the left foot down onto the mat. Blocks off to the sides. tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, bend the knees, look forward, step, hop, walk the feet up between the hands. And then come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Sit all the way down onto the mat. Try not to use the hands. If you need to, that's totally fine, but you're coming into bow pose. Lift the feet up, keep reaching the heart forward. So in Navasana, keep the chest up, keep the gaze up, and then lower down, Navasana. Back up, Navasana, keep those thighs hugging in. Exhale, Navasana. Inhale up, Navasana. Exhale, Navasana. Come back up, Navasana. Set the feet down onto the mat. Just hug the knees in toward the chest and curl up in a tight little ball. Maybe the heels lift, maybe the whole foot lifts, and you're just in a tight little ball, kind of balanced on the sacrum. All right, flex the feet, grab the big toes with the peace fingers and the thumb. So it's just like Navasana. Keep the chest up, hug the belly in. Play with this. You might tip back. You won't get hurt though. You're just coming to straightening the legs out in front of you. Keep the chest lifted, press out through the heels. You might be wobbly a little bit. That's fine. See if you can find your balance. Stay right here if that's enough, or maybe you open up the legs. Go slow. Keep that belly hugging in, chest lifted, pressing out through the heels, looking up. We have to go back the way we came in. Slowly start to bring the feet back together the way we started. See if you can keep your balance. And then set the feet down onto the mat. Good job. All right, roll on down onto your back. If you have a block, it might be nice for a restorative bridge. It's totally up to you. If you want to take a more active bridge, bring the feet in so the heels are underneath the knees. Lift the hips up. Interlace the fingers underneath you. Shoulders are open and get those shoulders underneath you. Or maybe you slide a block underneath you. Medium height, tallest height. If you go tallest height, you got to lift the heels up to get the hips up high enough so you can set the hips back down onto the block. Lift and spread the chest. Breathe wherever you are. If you're in an active bridge, slowly release, bring the hips back down to the mat. Let's do one more back bend of your choice. Active bridge. If you want to go up for Urdhva Dhanirasana and you still have a lot of gas left in the tank, could be a fun day for that. Your shoulders are pretty open. Come on up, back to an active bridge. If you're on the block, you just stay there. And once you're in your active bridge, you stay there, or you bring the hands back by the ears and come all the way up for Urdhva Dhanirasana, upward facing bow. Shifting the upper body forward, so you're stacking the shoulders over the hands. If you're up without a block, take one more inhale. Exhale brings you back down to the mat. If you're on a block, lift the hips up, set the block off to the side, bring the hips back down to the mat. Rest here. Move the arms out to the sides. You can do a T shape, cactus shape. Feet go out wide and let the knees knock side to side like windshield wipers. And then bring the knees all the way over to the right. That left thigh is going down and away from you. Then bring the knees back up to center, heel toe the feet all the way together. Shift the hips over to the left, bring the knees all the way over to the right, coming into your spinal twist. So left arm can stay bent if you already have that shape, or you can keep it extended out. Left arm or the gaze falls over the left arm. So finding that twist, starting to cool down, maybe closing the eyes. Gaze comes back up. Slowly make your way onto your back. Bring the arms in that T shape again. Feet wide, knees together. Bring both knees over to the right halfway, all the way over to the left. Let them fall. Feet are still wide. Right thigh is pressing down and away from you. There's an arching of the lower back. Bring the knees back up to center, heel toe the feet back together, scoot the hips over to the right, knees come over to the left. Bring the gaze over the right arm, come into your easy spinal twist on the other side. Bring the gaze back up. Either roll over onto your left side and come up for a seated meditation, or come onto your back, setting up for Savasana. If you have two blocks, place them on the lowest level underneath the thighs. That's a nice way to do Shavasana. If you don't have blocks, it's not a big deal. Just don't even worry about it. Maybe a pillow under the head or something to cover the eyes if you're looking for some way to enhance the Shavasana, but keeping it simple is always good too. Close the eyes. Take a deeper breath wherever you are. Cleansing exhale. Let it all go. And start to come into your Shavasana or seated meditation. Here for a couple minutes. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Begin to come back to the breath, back to the body, moving the fingers and the toes. And walking the feet in, moving any props out of the way. Making your way onto your right side, cradle the head and the arm. Use the hands to bring yourself up. Easy cross-legged seat. Coming back to our day in a better version of ourselves. Bring the hands together. Keep the chest lifted as you bow the head to honor and acknowledge your heart and your spirit, as well as everyone around you. Bring the head back up, blink open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining. Good work today. That was a strong class. You guys looked great. Hope you feel the same.